Good evening, everyone. I'm Alice with Wonderland Speaks. I can be reached at Google, Twitter, Facebook. That's Wonderland Speaks at gmail.com. Wonderland Speaks at Twitter and Facebook. Let's see. I had made some notes of what I wanted to talk to you about so that I wouldn't forget, because I tend to ramble. I am really excited to be here with you. I've been asked, and again, I encourage all comments. I have on my Alice in Wonderland costume. I hope you guys like it. As I mentioned before, from time to time I will have on costume. I hope you like it. This is very much a part of my personality, so I hope you'll like it. But if not, and if you do, join in. I encourage people to completely express themselves, because until you do, you're not truly happy. Let's see. And yes, it's January 2018, and I'm really excited to be here with you. I've gotten a comment from one of my viewers that they would like to know more about me. I'm a woman of a particular age, and I've gotten to a point in my life where I want to share all these many things that I've learned over this full life that I've had. I've traveled. I really love the arts. I've been married several times. I have 2 children. I'm a grandmother. Let's see. I think that's it for that right now. As time goes on, of course, as you know, especially with YouTube, we tend to share more and more. And my plan was to start in another direction, but something was brought to my attention recently, and I want to share that with you. I was asked about harassment, and as you know, that's a real big topic of concern for a lot of people. I was listening to a radio show recently on Sirius, on the Urban Network, which happens to be Channel 126 on Sirius. And of course, they've got programming 24/7. This is a morning show, comes on at 9 a.m., and the host is a comedian, and he has a co-host. Happens to be a female, very intelligent, but I had noticed in the way that he interacted with her was very degrading. And over a period of time, I had hoped, because I was very optimistic that this wouldn't last, it would only be temporary. And I noticed that she tolerated it, but it was very concerning to me. And I found myself reflecting back. There was a time in my life when I, like millions of other women, had experienced a similar situation. And my point in mentioning all this is that throughout your life, you will have those times when people will test you, will disrespect you, degrade you on all levels. And oftentimes we think we're ready, or we're not sure this is what's happening. What we know is that we're uncomfortable, and we're not really sure how to handle it. And each situation is different, and I think that's the biggest issue now. today that we're facing is that we're not really sure what to do. I'd like to give you some tips. I had a situation, well, I'll say this. When I was very young, my mother said to me, don't start anything that you can't keep up. And that, you could take that across the board. And I'll say this. If you find yourself in a situation, doesn't matter who it's with, whether it's personally or professionally, the very first time that someone says something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that is the time. You don't wait, make excuses for it, hoping that it will work itself out or it will fizzle out, because it won't. Trust me, it will only get worse over time. And you will find yourself changing. You will find yourself wondering, what can you do to pacify yourself or to take yourself away from the situation. You'll find yourself coming home drinking. You'll say, well, I'll have a glass of wine, or I'll go out after work and have a couple drinks, and that will help me to digest all the crap that I've had to endure. I'll say this, that can turn into so many things. But in reference to dealing with that situation, what you want to do with that particular person, you don't have to make a scene at that moment. I think that's the one thing that concerns a lot of people initially. No, you don't have to make a scene at that moment. What you do is you pull that person to the side. You don't have to put your hands on them, because we live in a society today, you can't touch people. Everything's so sensitive. But what you can do is say to that person in a very calm voice, can I have a word with you over here? You don't want to go out in the hall where there's nobody that could possibly see you, because again, you don't know how this person's going to react. So you do want people to be around, but you don't want them to be able to hear what you're saying. You take that person out over to the side and you say, what you said earlier to me made me feel really uncomfortable. And I would appreciate in the future, going forward, if you never speak to me in that manner again. Thank you. And you leave it there. Now, oftentimes people don't know how to react if a person is assertive and they let them know right away what their position is. That's what you do. You make them aware right then. You don't wait. You don't say, oh, I'll wait until tomorrow. I'll mention it tomorrow. Because, no, you don't want to deal with it at all. It's very uncomfortable. So that's exactly what you do. You take that person to the side and say, oh, you made me feel really uncomfortable when you called me stupid or you called me an idiot. Those types of things. Now, there are other situations, like, for example, if someone says something really inappropriate, like, oh, you've got a nice rack, or you've got a nice butt, or I like to eat off your butt, or, things of that nature. That's sexual harassment. And, of course, that's illegal, according to the federal government. That's a federal offense. So that's a whole other animal, okay? But again, even in situations like those, the exact same thing. You let them know right then. You never let it go past that point. You make them aware right then. Because they'll pretend that they weren't aware that they did it. Because, see, you don't know. That's their MO. It's only going to get worse. So, that's sexual harassment. And again, that's verbal. If they physically touch you in an inappropriate way, because it absolutely happens. Like if they grab your hand in a forceful manner, or touch your butt, catch a feel, those types of things. Those are all federal offenses. It's illegal, against the law, okay? You remind them of that and ask them how much do they like their job. So that's how you handle those things, okay? If you find that you just can't confront that person, you absolutely have to go to your human resources office. I know you say, oh my God, I can't do that. I'll lose my job. No, you won't. Again, it's a federal crime if someone puts their hands on you. But today, they don't even have to go that far. If they even say something inappropriate, it's illegal. Okay? People can't say sexually explicit things to you. It's illegal. They can't do it. So, those are just a couple things that you can do or say. I just wanted to touch on it. It was on my heart. I wanted to share that with you. I've got so many more videos that are coming, but I wanted to touch on the sexual harassment. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be back soon. Have a great evening. I'm just glad I was able to get this one out. I've been going to put it out, and I wanted to touch on that. So please leave me your comments. Subscribe. I really need my viewership. I need to build it up. So I want you guys, I need to know what you think. It's important. As I said, that's Google, Facebook, Twitter. That's Wonderland Speaks. Please subscribe. Bye.